here, get things lined up properly, we're going to work on Strixhaven Mage Tower PVP sport for Dungeons & Dragons 5e using 5e combat action economy. So we're basically building a role-playing game sport is basically what we're trying to do here. Let me adjust stuff. Hey guys, how you doing? And let's see. Got our canvas here. So Strixhaven is a sport that was created for Strixhaven, the Harry Potter magic setting in Magic the Gathering. That was then converted into a setting for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. There's a small pocket of Magic the Gathering IP that's been converted into D&D. Ravnica was the first, then Theros, then Strixhaven, and they had released a monster manual for Eldraine, and they had just recently made a small packet for Lorwyn. And so we're taking the Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos book. If we go and look here, Strixhaven Curriculum in Chaos. This has an adventure, quote unquote, a scenario or a challenge in it, which was where is it? It's the Campus Kerfuffle at Worlds Hunt for Mage Tower. Here we go. So in the Strixhaven adventure, Strixhaven, the Curriculum of Chaos adventure is very combat light. There's like maybe a handful of combat encounters throughout the 4-level progression of the campaign. The idea of Mage Tower, it's basically like Quidditch for Harry Potter, but it's more like rugby. It's like a space between Quidditch and rugby, but they didn't really flesh out like actual rules for it. It's just a background flavor sport that they had in Magic the Gathering as an excuse to make sports sort of themed cards, like instant spells, like I don't know, like punt, or like block the shot as a reaction and stuff like that. They made a couple cards, sports-based cards, in Magic the Gathering, so they didn't actually have to flesh out any actual like rules of the game, just a vague idea of what it was. So when they brought it into Curriculum of Chaos, they didn't create a high-structured system for us to actually play Mage Tower. Instead, it's an ability check. It's a skill test. Everyone on one team makes an ability check of their choice. The enemy up the total of each team, and whichever team has the highest total score wins. So basically, in Curriculum of Chaos, since that's not the focus of the adventure, if you wanted to have a match of Mage Tower, it's just an ability check and then it's done, and they get back to what the actual adventure is. But I think there was a missed opportunity there. It would have taken a lot of work, but we're able to take the idea of Mage Tower and convert it into a 5e combat PvP situation where each player on the board could represent an individual teammate on opposing teams, true PvP style. If you have like say if you have like 5 players and a DM, you could go 3 players on one team, 2 players and the DM on the other team, and now you have a 3v3 match. Or you could have like, if you have say 5 players, all could be on one side, and then the DM has a team of 5 players on its side, and then you just resolve combat like normal. You can build actual, like the DM can run actual characters as NPCs in the match, so that it's equal action economy between both sides, having characters of the same level. So that's the base premise of it. People like to do PvP stuff in D&D occasionally, and most of the time it just kind of defaults down to build 20th level characters, we'll put you in a 100-foot box, and then go kill each other. That's kind of how the system works, and I just think I think we could do better. So I'm not a big fan of PvP combat in D&D in general, because it's, at 20th level, Noodle Slap Fest or Rocket Tag is probably basically the 2 ways that you can express what 20th level PvP combat is, and it's unsatisfying. I have ran a number of 20th level one shots like that in my time from 2nd edition through 5th edition, and it's something to do if you don't have anything better to do. But we wanted to create better, so we're making this system. It's the Strixhaven Mage Tower PVP Sport. This is the playtest document. If you're interested in looking through it, click down here. Here's the Mage Tower PVP Playtest rules that we're using today. The Color Mana system that we developed for Magic the Gathering games that you place the Vancian Magic in spell slots. You replace those things. Sorry, I feel a little gummy today. I had a new bridge inserted into my jawline, and it feels like my S's are sticking to they aren't as sharp as they normally would be. They're sticking to my palate still because I'm still getting used to the new set. I'm going to take a drink of water to see if I can cleanse my palate. The 2014 version of the Color Mana Spell Point Variant rules is on the DMsGuild already here and has an extensive free preview. Be welcome to check it out if you're into MTG and D&D. The Color Mana Spell Point Variant rules is an awesome solution, not only just for MTG games, but I've been using it in Eberron for 6 years, and I love it. From level 1 to 20, it works great. I ran 2 campaigns using Color Mana from level 1 to 20, but we've had the new 2024 books, so we want to update all the rules. That's what the 2024 Color Mana Playtest rules are here, converting everything from 2014, all the classes, all the subclasses, including the Scion and all its subclasses, magic items. It's all being converted into the Color Mana paradigm to replace the 8 school Vancian system that's native to the D&D gameverse. But since Wizards owns both Magic the Gathering and D&D, obviously they're crossing the streams a little bit with the Ravnica, Theros, Strixhaven, Lorwyn, Eldraine supplements that they've been putting out. We wanted to dive deeper to really embrace color as the fundamental game and magic physics of the D&D game engine when you're playing anything that you want to have Magic the Gathering or Color Mana based. So that's the idea. So we're going to be looking at both of those documents. So I'm going to, by the way, since we're here, if you think this stuff today is cool, thank you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Here's a bunch of books that I've already created on DMsGuild. They all have free previews. Be welcome to check them out. And my Discord community is here, where we're going to be playing Mage Tower, as well as the Spelljammer Kaiju campaign that I've been developing, and all my playtesting happens on my Discord, and you have free access to join if you wish. So let's stay on course, and we're going to, let's see, we want to make characters, but I want to walk through Strixhaven, I want to walk through Mage Tower in general. So Mage Tower consists of 2 goalposts located here in this 5-foot space and here. The goalpost is considered both an ally and an enemy and an object for determining things like targeting, defending, like a monk. In our system, a monk is allowed to use deflect attack on attacks directed at them, as well as any creature that's within 5 feet of them. So if you have a monk that is, well, let's go ahead and add a divot here. Let's bring this in. If we had a monk, right, that dot's going to be a monk. This space is occupied by the goalpost, so a monk could stand within 5 feet of the goalpost, and if an attack comes in to hit the goalpost, meaning like if the ball is going to hit the goalpost, if the monk has a reaction and deflect attacks, and you're able to reduce the damage against the goalpost to 0, the monk can effectively block the attack, catching the ball and then having hold of it to be able to throw to somebody else, either likely to an ally to then take the ball and run off to the other goalpost over here, or it could be like to actually attack and deal damage to an enemy player. All damage is temporary. A viable strategy is to kill everyone on the opposing team and then casually walk over and score points. There's 3 periods, kind of like hockey, 1, 2, 3. A period ends when the first team to reach 3 points. So a final match of Strixhaven, a final match of Mage Tower is going to end with 9 points. So the first 3 points in the first match. So the first match to 3 points, the second period to 3 points, the third period to 3 points, and then from there, if neither team has 9 points, it's then overtime. Whoever ends with 9 points. So you're going to have an extended game. It's since each period ends at 3 points, that's a way for us to pace our mechanics. Normally it would be a time period, like in hockey, it's like a 20-minute time period each period. So it's an hour-long hockey game unless it's a tie score at the end, and then you go into overtime. Hey, Steve. And but with this, we don't want to have 20 minutes. Like it doesn't work. Like D&D combat doesn't work that way. So instead, we make it to the first team to 3 points in each period. That 3 points ends it. So you could have one team at 3 points the first period, another team at 3 points in the second period. You could potentially have overtime, and the third period, one team gets to 3 points, and it could be like a score of like say. 7-9, or it could be like 6-5 at the start of the third period, and then it could go 9-5, or it could be 8-6, and so now you're into overtime. And if the score is 8-6, whichever team gets the 9 first wins. So during the normal periods, you have a chance to shut out the enemy team over the course of 3 periods. But if you can't close the deal, then the other team has as much time needed to catch up and beat. So you could potentially have a fairly lengthy like combat scenario. We haven't actually play tested this yet. We might have an opportunity to. I play a Curse of Strahd game every other week, and we've decided that if we don't have everyone show up, instead of carrying on without the missing people, we're just going to switch to a different campaign. And we've elected to go play some Strixhaven and then have Strixhaven adventures on the side. But we're playing every time our Curse of Strahd matches game is missing people, we'll play Mage Tower and run a Strixhaven campaign through my color system instead. So that's just what we decided to do. So it's very possible that we'll be actually playing Mage Tower for the first time tonight with my home team. So I'm excited about that. The Curse of Strahd game is the only game that I actually play in. Otherwise, I DM all the other games that I run. So I love my Curse of Strahd time to get that every other week player fix that a forever DM needs to keep them angry that games don't run the way that they want them to. That forces us forever DMs back into the behind the screen, as it were. But I love our team, and I love playing in Curse of Strahd. But when we're missing people, we don't want to leave people behind. So I'm happy to take on and then basically be the referee for Mage Tower matches. So we have the rule set here, which we link down below. This is different from the rules that are actually listed in the Magic the Gathering card set, because there are no actual rules in the card set. The Curriculum of Chaos, the D&D translation created a little bit of structure and rules to it, but they built it in a way that, again, it's just an ability check versus a skill test versus skill test, you win. So it doesn't matter what the actual flow of movement of the ball and the goalposts and all of the machinations and sport that goes into the sport. It's been stepped over narratively by, instead of like having it. So there's three gears in D&D. There's combat, exploration, and social. These aren't necessarily different types of challenges. They're different gears in the game engine. So we all know that combat has the most action economy in the shortest amount of narrative time, because each round is 6 seconds, and ideally a combat ends in 4 rounds. So it's basically less than a minute of combat is typical in the combat engine, like the 5e combat gear of adventure. It has all this action economy that you really parse down second by second what your character is doing to survive a dangerous situation. And then you have the exploration gear, which is just basically ability checks. So you can use ability checks in combat, but in exploration you aren't using combat action economy. You're using it's more of like old school D&D style. Like maybe you'll like have one turn every 10 minutes or every hour, or whatever the tempo of exploration, or whatever it is that you're exploring, whatever the proper tempo is for the scale that you're exploring. But they can also be things like interrogations or heists where you aren't getting into combat. There's a lot of work that the exploration in gear of the 5e game engine can resolve. And Strixhaven, the Mage Tower rules is they put it in that exploration gear because they didn't want to have to flesh out all the mechanics of round-to-round combat in a rugby type sport. But that's the kind of stuff that I geek out on. So of course I'm going to take it out of the exploration gear and drop it into the 5e combat gear, because that's fun. Saltmarsh and Spelljammer essentially turn ship combat into an exploration gear of adventure by basically having the 2 boats touch and then have combat. Actually, that's social. That's more of a social. So you have combat, exploration, and social. Those are your 3 pillars. Instead of calling them pillars, let's call them gears of the engine. So the social gear is basically just conversation. There are no die rolls involved with it. It's just you do it. You just say you do it, or you ask permission to do it, and the DM is engaging you in conversation, like with NPCs that are doing data lore dumps. But like in Spelljammer combat, as written by Wizards of the Coast, they just, like, when your boats touch, then you drop into the 5e combat gear and do attacks across the boats at each other. The Spelljammer book we have linked down below takes that social and drops actual ship combat into the same gear as 5e character combat, just operating instead of at the 5-foot scale, it's the 50 and 500-foot scale, but you still use all of your action economy as normal. So with Strixhaven, Mage Tower, we want to do the same thing of taking it out of the exploration ability check gear and create all the action economy. So we created the arena in 5-foot squares. God, my S's just don't feel sharp at all. This new is just absolutely listening to myself is just absolutely messing with me. Forgive me for a second here. I tried to screw my brain back in. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Let's drop down here. Okay, so 5-foot scale. We have here's our half court. Here's the goalposts. This line here, this is the disadvantage line. This is the normal line. This is 5 feet, this is 5 feet, this is 5 feet. So this is 15 feet up off of the ground, the turf of the field, right? It's a mage tower, so we're creating a small tower. The ball is a Strixhaven pest, a tiny sized creature that exists in Strixhaven, the Arcavio world, the world of Arcavios in Magic the Gathering, where Strixhaven Academy is located. It's the actual world's Arcavios. So in the world of Arcavios, there are creatures called pests, which are basically 0/1 creatures in Magic the Gathering, and you can sacrifice them to create food tokens. Basically, you eat pests. They're like marshmallows. So you eat pests, but they're also familiars for the Witherbloom college students that pick up the Find Familiar feat or spell. They can summon a pest. But in Mage Tower, the ball is a pest with an Odalix Resilient Sphere cast around it. So it's in an indestructible ball of force that it can basically walk in like a hamster ball. So, and it's only this big, so it's basically rugby ball size, but it's indestructible. And it can be used as a thrown weapon, or it can be used as a propellant, like in catapult, like a catapult cantrip for full casting athletes to use their ability, their spell casting ability score instead of strength or dexterity to throw the object. It can be used with dexterity, strength, catapult, your ability checks. It has a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 40 feet. So in the normal range, if this is the goalpost, you have to be standing inside the normal line. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20 feet away. This is short. This is normal range. And then for the thrown ball, long range at disadvantage is 40 feet. So if you're standing here, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 feet. Whenever you throw the ball, it always goes 40 feet. If you score if you make an attack and you hit the goalpost, you have to deal damage for it to count as a point scored. And if you do, then basically the match resets. The ball starts on the half point mark here in the center of the board. It's a pest. It's a living creature inside of a hamster ball, right? So the ball goes first. So you blow the whistle to start the match. And if we take our ball here to the center court, all the players are going to start adjacent to their goalpost. So this team would have a goalpost here, and this team has a goalpost here. So all the characters start within 5 feet of it. Everyone rolls initiative. We wait an entire round to pass so that everyone's ready, so that everybody's reactions are available. And once the round turns over, the first round is get ready, and then the next round is chirp, and then that starts. The ball always goes first, and the ball has a movement speed of 20 feet. And I'm going to start off in the center point with the ball, and then we're going to just simply roll a d8, and the pest will run in that direction for 20 feet. The arena itself, the boundaries of the arena are within a wall of force, so it's impossible to go out of bounds. So if the pest were to be here, and like the direction chosen was north, I would travel 20 feet, but after 5 feet, I bump into the force wall, so I would just stay here. This would be my stopping point. If no one has picked up the ball yet and started running with it, and it rolls over to the next round, and like say I roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would then go 5, 10, 15, 20. And so now the ball is decided to run over to this space. The ball is, just like the goalpost is considered an ally, an enemy, and an object for interactions. You can't destroy the goal, just like you can't destroy the ball. But you deal damage to the goal to verify that you've actually hit the goal to score a point. Anything that you have that could block or reduce damage to 0 against a goalpost is a successful block. It prevents a point from being scored. If I were, say, if my character were located here, I'd be within the normal line, so I wouldn't have disadvantage to attack, right? That'd be 5, 10, 15, 20. I take my shot at the goal, but if I don't hit, then it'd be like 25, it'd be what, 5, 10, 15, 20. I miss 25, 30, 35, 40. So the ball would end up landing over here. So somebody from some team somewhere is going to go over here and then grab the ball for themselves and start running with it. But I got to get it from this goalpost all the way over to here. So that's the basic rules of it. It's considered a thrown weapon. It's considered a thrown finesse weapon, so that you can use either dexterity or strength with it. It's less than 5 pounds, so you can use it with Mage Hand or telekinetic push to attack with it as a thrown object using a spellcasting stat. You can deal damage to each other through combat. There's no weapons or any kind of equipment whatsoever allowed into the match other than your uniform. The arena itself is considered a spellcasting focus, so you don't need to carry in material components with you. This also means that any expensive consumable or any spell components more than 5 silver pieces in value aren't allowed. So we have a ban list of spells, like, for example, you can't use imprisonment. That requires a 5,000 gold piece gem, so you can't cast that spell in the match. There's also a couple other rules, like, for example, you can't use spells or powers that add allies with action economy to the arena, because now you're off sides. You have one team with more players than the other. That's considered unfair. You can't cast spells that destroy the battlefield, like, for example, Earthquake cuts open and causes tears in the actual field, the Mage Tower field, so you're destroying the arena, so that's not allowed. But like Tsunami would be allowed. Like, you could create a wave that basically, like, you could start the Tsunami wave here and have it just basically push everyone on this side of the map all the way against the far wall. Like, if you're playing 5th rank, top tier Mage Tower, you can have, like, you know, Meteor Swarm dumping massive damage down onto the field to kill your opponents, right? Because if you drop your opponent down to 0 hit points, they're effectively dead, and then you can go score your points casually. Every time you score a point, the ball is returned to the center point, and each period is considered a short rest. Each game is considered a long rest. All the full casters on any like all the half casters and the martial characters get their mana back on a short rest, like all their mana. And say 6th level characters, that's where we're starting. So we're gonna build 6th level characters here in a minute. So 6th level characters, a half caster and martial gets 6 mana every short rest, while a full caster gets 16 mana at I think it's 16 mana. Let's go look at the document real quick to verify that's accurate. Color Mana spell point variant rules for 2024 here, and let's go down to a half caster, or to a full caster. Here we go, clerics. We're starting at 6th level because that's the level that people wanted to start. And they have 20 mana, so they have 20 mana at 6th level, and every time a full caster takes a short rest in a match at the end of each period, you'll get your spell level back in mana. So at 6th level, you start with 20 mana. At the end of first period, you'll get 3 mana back as a full caster. You'll get 6 mana back. A half caster or martial character at 6th level has 6 mana that they start with, and then they get all their mana back every end of period. The full caster starts with 20 and gets 3 mana back at the end of first period and second period, and well, technically third period as well if we go into overtime. Basically, every time another period starts, you get a short rest. And the the half casters and the marshals can sacrifice their action economy to generate additional mana. So if I sacrifice my reaction, I can generate an extra point of mana. If I sacrifice my bonus action at 6th level, I can generate another point of mana. If I sacrifice attacks during the attack action, like I get 2 attacks at 5th level as a ranger, I can sacrifice both of those attacks to generate 2 points of mana. So I could give up both attacks, my bonus action, and my reaction to generate 4 points of mana for my character this round, and then it goes away at the beginning of my next round. But the only action economy I'd have left is movement. So if I have powers or spells that can use mana as part of movement, and the martial power system that we have developed for athletes has those options, then while you're moving, you can burn that mana, and you used all of your action economy to generate the mana to do the cool thing when you move, like extra movement speed, like bursting speed, or teleportation effects, or dealing damage to people that you run by or through, for instance. These are all things that you can do with your movement that consume mana. So you can sacrifice all of your mana and burn it and use all that mana during your movement. But you could also see, like, if I don't want my reaction and I'm okay sacrificing my bonus action and one of my attacks, that 6th level ranger can have 3 free points of mana to use with their attack roll to, like, say, boost their damage up 3 points. So I pick up the ball, I throw it. I'm just making ball pick up as interaction, and then I throw it, and that's an attack roll. And then I generate 3 points of mana off my action, off my reaction, bonus action, and second attack. I burned all of those off to generate 3 points of mana. Now I can spend, like, say, 2 of those points to increase my attack roll, and use the other remaining point of mana to increase the damage that I deal. So if I hit the goalpost, I'll do more damage, so that if there's a monk or like a warding bond or some other effect that reduces damage taken, we can still get through and deal a point of damage, at least 1 point of damage, to score a point against the goalpost. So that's the general idea. So there's for people that are ranged weapon. So a viable strategy is to kill the opponent team and then just casually walk over in 1, 2, 3 points. A team that is outmatched in combat may decide to try to run away from being attacked and focus on scoring points, because you're going to have to spend your action economy either attacking a character or attacking the goalpost. Both are viable strategies. It's just which do you get the 3 points before the enemy team kills you? Or that's basically how it works. There you go. So all the damage is temporary. At the end of a period, all temporary damage is healed, so you're back up to 100% hit points again. You've expended some of your mana. You're concentrating on spells and stuff like that, and then you just travel through. And again, the goal is to score 3 points. If you can kill the enemy team easily, score point, score point, score point. It's just basically a cakewalk. If you TPK the enemy team, you automatically score 3 points, up to 3 points in that match. So that's a good way to close out a game. So, and if you're in overtime, and in overtime, if you TPK the enemy team, then you automatically win overtime, because the enemy can't fight anymore and there is no new periods coming up. You're in overtime. You see, so you have those two. You always have the option of getting into PvP, but you can build your strategy around: do we want to PvP? Like, do we want to kill each other, or do we want to score points? Because the goal is to score 9 points, and that ends the game. Each period ends at 3 points. So if you have a stagger of like 5 versus 6 at the end of the second match, it wouldn't be 5 versus 6. At best, it could be like, say, 4 versus 6. Like if Team A got 3 points first in both matches, Team B could have gotten 2 points each. So at the end of second period, at best, it would be 4 versus 6. But it's always going to be each team's going to, it's 3 points. So if I score 2 points and then the enemy scores 3 points in the first period, that ends the first period. And then we move to the second period. It's 2 versus 3. If the team with 2 points scores 3 points in the second period and the other team with 3 points doesn't score any, the score is now 5-3. And then in the third period, say that 5-point team shuts out the 3-point team again. It's now 8-3, and we go into overtime. And so the team with 8 points only has to score 1 more point, and the game is over. But the team that got shut out 2 periods has to score 6 points before the enemy team scores 1. If the team with 3 points was able to TPK the team with 8 points, then they automatically win the game, because the team doesn't have any periods left to regain their short rest and get rid of all the temporary damage. So that's basically how it works. Those are your 2 strategies. Things that, like banishment, for example, that take people away from the battlefield. That's allowed because you can keep saving to come back in. You can hit people with hold person and paralyze them so they can't act. That's a great fucking strategy to score points instead of necessarily killing the team. But I mean, you'll crit if they're paralyzed, so killing them is a good way of doing it. But if you're a ranged combatant, you can use the ball as a ranged thrown finesse weapon. But you also, like, for example, we have the martial power of ranged assault, which allows you to create ammunition while you throw it. So if your strategy is to kill the enemy team, then you can pick up ranged assault as a power and turn that on as basically a first rank power to sustain that. And now every time you make an attack, you generate weapons of force that when they hit, they vanish, they dissipate. So if you have an enemy that like has the ball and is flying, if you want to have at least one character on the opposing team to deal with flyers by having ranged assault active. And so instead of necessarily like killing the flying, because the flying character can fly from there, pick up the ball, and then fly over here within short range, like say 40 feet up. The roof of the arena is 40 feet. So you could be 40 feet up. The pyramid that the goalpost is on, that's 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, and then the pyramid itself is the goalpost itself is 5 feet tall. So if you're 40 feet up, you're basically only 20 feet away. You're at if you're within the normal range here, the roof of the arena, the highest elevation is also within normal range. If you're outside of the normal range box and you're still at the roof, you're 40 feet. You're beyond 20 feet at this point, so you're in the disadvantaged range, right? So to deal with flyers, you want to be able to either like grab them, paralyze them, sleep them so they fall, Earthbind them, the spell Earthbind, or use ranged assault to generate ranged weapon attacks as you make the attack action, which is useful for rogues and rangers in particular. But you could either try to kill the flyer, reduce the flyer speed to 0, so if they don't have hover, they fall. Or you could try to disarm them, because the ball is considered an ally, enemy, or object, depending on what you want to do. So you can use a disarming attack with a ranged force weapon to knock the ball out of the flying character's hands, and it will then drop to the ground underneath where they are. Then you can run over, you can scoop it up, and now you have the ball. You can pick up the ball as an object interaction if it isn't being held by anybody during your turn. You could also for example, if you are here and the ball is loose on the ground, anytime the ball isn't being held at the beginning of a round, the ball, it's a pest inside of a hamster ball. So it is going, like we talked about before, it's going to run in a random direction. Roll a d8. So if that's there, if the ball is there and the character is here, and I've got a 5-foot reach, and I roll randomly to go north, and the pest is going to run 20 feet. So 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet, and now it's going to try to leave the range. You could then use a reaction as an attack of opportunity to make a grapple check. And so you basically do the grapple check, and if you use the grapple check, the pest automatically fails any kind of a check, because it's not fast enough, it's not maneuverable enough to be able to avoid you grabbing the ball that it's inside of. So you just need to trigger an opportunity attack to then replace that attack with a grapple, which when successful, you automatically scoop up, and you're now holding the tiny sized ball in possession. Somebody would then need to disarm you to get the ball out of your hands, or you would throw it, and again, whenever you throw the ball, it always travels 40 feet. Unless it hits the boundary of the arena, or you score a point on the goal. And if you score a point, it'll stop at the goalpost. If you miss or deal 0 damage, it'll continue through 40 feet. Like say this is the end point. Like say you were firing from here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I miss or didn't deal damage. 35, 40. And this is where the ball would then end. Presumably, you would have a goalie here that would be easy for them to then take the 5-foot step, pick up the ball, and now have possession of the ball at their goal. And they could then throw it. It doesn't matter who scores the point. If it's this tower, this team scored a point. So if I had a wizard over here and I threw the ball over here to get the goalie to pick up the ball, I could then, as a reaction, as a held action, cast suggestion, hey, why don't you score a point there? That's against your best interest, so you get a saving throw, obviously with advantage against it. But if you fail the saving throw, you could then score a point against yourself, because the suggestion spell triggered you to do that. So there's a like charm monster or mass suggestion. stuff like that. Like, you should be on our team, help us out. Like, you can do that as well. You can banish people. You can create like walls of force. If you create walls of stone or walls of force to block access, you cannot completely encapsulate the goal. If the only way to be able to score a point is to be able to fly or climb, it's not allowed. You have to leave at least a 5-foot gap for somebody to then come through to try to take a shot against. But this is a viable strategy. So having, like, at level 7, you see builders start to come in, fabricate. I think fabricate's too slow, but like wall of stone, wall of force, wall of ice, wind wall. Since the ball is a tiny sized weapon, if you throw up a wind wall in front of the goal, you can use that to block shots coming in. So there's a lot of really fun spells that can be used when the ball is considered an object, ally, or enemy. Like, you could cast confusion on the ball, so it might try to, like, it will like climb, it'll like try to escape your grasp, for instance. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways to play with that. So we're going to, with any luck, we'll get characters built today, and we'll run our first actual playtest match to see how it goes. And I have high hopes, so we'll see if it's fun or not. I think it's a fun alternate PvP idea. Instead of just having a box that you throw two 20th level fighters in and see who can kill the other fastest, this is a way to create alternate win conditions inside of a PvP game where killing each other is totally viable, but like we were talking about, like, scoring points is the actual goal, which can be arrived at quickly if you kill your enemies. So good. I'm glad you think it's cool. So that's the basic premise of it, and it's 10:30, so we're going to spend the rest of today building NPCs. So we're going to the Curse of Strahd game that I play in every other week. It's tonight, but we're probably missing a player tonight, and so we already decided, hey, if we're going to start missing players instead of playing without them, let's just play something different as a team, so that we keep in the cadence and habit of showing up every other week and making it a commitment to each other as friends that we're going to show up and do this thing together instead of bailing on it. So if somebody can't arrive, that's fine, but we're going to have something set up. And so we're going to be playing Strixhaven. And we'll have, normally it's a 3-hour game that we run. It's been Curse of Strahd. We're level 7 now. Yeah, very cool. So these will be 3-hour sessions that we're running, which should be sufficient. Hopefully, we'll be able to resolve Mage Tower matches within an hour, if less. And then if it goes into overtime, hopefully like within an hour and a half. But I think that's basically a game of hockey. You're basically running a game of hockey that way. So, and then with whatever time we have left over, we can do like bastion turns in campus to create things, go on fetch missions out into our Arcavia's Tangles. We'll make a very casual sort of LARPy sort of campaign with ability checks and stuff like that on the side from what we're doing inside of the arena. But we're playtesting here. I also would, if I can gather up some people, I think I want to start running Mage Tower the first week of January. I want to start running Mage Tower on my Discord server, and I think I'm going to do it Monday nights. So if you're on my Discord is linked down below. You're welcome to join if you're interested. And Rogues Gallery. Okay, so there's the Mage Tower League, which is everyone is in the same college. So it's like Silverquill versus Witherbloom, and so everyone would be on one team. But when you're talking about players, when it's players in a game, having everybody in the same school, while it was cool for Harry Potter that everyone was in Gryffindor, there's a lot of variety and individuality that people want to express in their characters in D&D. And so not limiting you to choose which school, like if you choose Lorehold, now you're only doing white and red mana, and your characters are going to fit inside that Lorehold motif. And I already got a response from the players like, no, we want to be able to pick whatever school we want. We actually want a variety because they can all do different things, and that's true. So I respect that. So there'll be the actual varsity league, which is school versus school, which is the high ticket item stuff. But then there's also the pubs. So the public games, pickup games, where it's still the same game, but it's unofficial. It's a club. It's a pub club instead of a varsity league. League is official, and a club is unofficial. So there are many Mage Tower clubs on campus, and they all have tournaments amongst themselves. But they could all be like, you could have like in a pub team, you could have a team of like all Silver Quill, but these are people that weren't strong enough to get onto the varsity team, like in the actual league, but they love the game, so they're just doing that as a downtime hobby. Or you could have mixed teams, like you could have like you can have 3v3 for you could have anywhere from 1v1 up to 5v5, and the size of the team is completely up to whoever's pubbing the game. So you could have a 5v5 team, and it could be like all Silver Quill versus one person from Silver Quill and all the other 4 schools. So this team is one of each school, while this is like all Lorehold, or like half Warhol, half Witherbloom, half Prismar, or like 3 Prismari, whatever. You can it doesn't matter. It's unofficial, so you can mix it up. So you're playing with your friends, regardless of which college they officially belong to as their background. So we're playing in the pubs. We're not touching the varsity league at all. So the people that are in the varsity league in the actual Strixhaven campaign, if you're in the varsity league, you can get a scholarship to play Mage Tower in the league, representing the college that you end up in. And so you get a free ride to Strixhaven. Basically, you get a sports scholarship to go to Strixhaven. When we had that idea initially a couple years back, it was like, well, how would we do that? That's what got the Martial Power System started. So the Martial Power System here that we have, and the link to that is also here down below. Here's the Mage Tower Playtest rules that we've been building. Here's the Martial Powers and Color Mana system that we've been developing for both Marshals and full casters and half casters, blah. And then here's the published rules from 2014 already for half casters and full casters. It's been my dream to reintroduce Martial Powers into 5e using the Color Mana paradigm, so that literally all 14 character classes in D&D 5e can use the Color Mana system. So if you're playing a Ravnica campaign, like a Ravnica Barbarian, like say in Rakdos or Gruul or something, then yeah, you've got all your rage and stuff like that, but you also have this pocket of mana that you can spend like to deal extra damage, or to run faster, or to teleport this round, or to staple somebody in space-time and space this round so they can't move or teleport. All sorts of stuff that you can do with mana. There's like 180 different things that you can do as alternate power spells that Marshals and half-casters can use. While full casters have spell casting, Marshals now have powers, and it's structured as a half-casting, in the half-casting scaffold. So the half-casters, the Artificers, Paladins, and Rangers, they can use both spells and powers because they're hybrids. So the real Gishes in the game become the half-casters. The Warlock can also use powers instead of spells. And you can expend invocations to pick up additional powers instead of the list of invocations. And it ranks up as a half-caster. So a 5th level Warlock could have 3rd level spells, but also 2nd rank powers, and can spend mana on both of those things. So the art, like all the Marshals, all the half-casters, and the Warlock can use powers freely at the half-casting progression, and all the full casters can only use their spell casting. The half-casters can use both spells from their list and powers. So it's creating a lot of flex, but they're all using the same mana pool with the same 1-to-1 ratio. A 5th level spell costs 5 mana, a 1st level spell costs 1 mana, and if you're using a magic system, then you're going to color that mana based on the type of magic that you use. So if you're a Lorehold character in Strixhaven, all of your mana is going to be white or red. And if you're being loose on the magic, it can be both. So you're just spending points of mana, and then you're describing how you're using white and red magic. If you're going to be strict with your mana system, then you're going to assign each spell to a specific color. And if you don't have access to that color, you can't cast that spell. If you want to get that spell, you have to then research it so it becomes the color that you want, or you prepare it twice. Once in its native devotion of, like, say, if I'm playing Witherbloom, which is black-green, and I want to pick up a white spell, Lorehold would automatically have access to it, but Witherbloom doesn't. So I want to spend time on campus in the Lorehold Witherbloom libraries to convert that spell to, say, black or green. That way my Witherbloom character can use it. But if I'm on the fly, I can prepare the color white, and then I can prepare it again green. So I'm going to reduce the number of spells that I can prepare to increase my flexibility, or I'm going to spend time in college campus researching spells so that all my spells are black. So all I need is black mana, and now I have basically colorless mana. All mana can always be used to cast all my spells. So that's an in-game mechanic that you can choose to use if you want to create layers of complications to reduce the advantage that casters have over marshals. Because marshals, they don't have, like, powers aren't assigned to a specific color. You just narrate what color they are. And since marshals have so little mana to begin with, and they can generate so much temporary mana by sacrificing their action economy, and whenever you gain mana, you decide what color it is right away. So if I have a Witherbloom Barbarian that operates in black and green mana, I can at any time express any power that I channel as part of my actions. I can express it as black or green because it doesn't matter, because the martial powers aren't devoted to specific colors, but all the spells in the game are. So you could have a ranger, like a Witherbloom ranger, that has both a mix of powers and spells. If I have, say, 6 mana, I might put 4 of it into green and 2 of it into black. And whenever I cast a healing spell, I'm going to have to sacrifice at least 1 point of green mana to cast that healing spell. But whenever I'm using powers, I can just say it's either black. I can say it's black or green as I want. And when I generate temporary mana, I can say that mana that I'm generating is black or green. And the ranger, concentration and instant spells can be cast with mana that I generate by sacrificing action economy. So if I generate 3 points of temporary mana, I can call them all green and then spend them to cast a healing spell. But I can only do that during combat. So for me to generate that mana to cast the spell, I have to sacrifice action economy to generate the mana. Like I could... like a healing word, I think it's a bonus action to cast, like a first level spell. I can sacrifice my reaction to generate a free point of mana, and then with my bonus action cast healing word, and still have 2 attacks at 5th level. So I can break up my action economy that way, but the spell has to be green because it's a healing spell, unless I prepare it or research it to be black. But when I generate that free point of mana off my reaction, I can immediately declare it's black or green, which is why full casters don't have access to channeling, because they can't. When they generate mana that way, full casters can't use temporary mana to cast spells. They have to use spells from their mana pool, and each point in the mana pool is going to be devoted to a point of color. So the half casters and the marshals have a lot of freedom in how they use their mana, while the full casters have to budget how much black and how much green mana do I have. And whenever I take a short rest, I'll get my level worth of my spellcasting level of mana. Like 6th level wizard will get 3 points of mana back whenever I take a short rest. And anytime I take a short rest, any amount of mana, I can change its color. So I go through one period in the match, we take a short rest, and then we start the next period. And during that period, our marshals and half casters are going to get all of their mana back, and the full casters have their big pile of mana up front. And then every time a period ends, they'll get a little injection of some additional mana. So that's how that traipses out. So we're going to build characters. Now that I've gotten through all that, we have a basic template here for athlete template characters. It has all the basic bits that we need to build a character. Name of the character, the college that they belong to, their species and class, what levels they have, their stats with their bonus and their saving throw. Here's your standard array that we'll start with before modifications. The college counts as your background, so we'll look at that. Then we have movement, armor class, hit points, our mana, our our channeling / save spellcasting DC, and then we'll have our basic attacks, class and subclass features, our skills, selected feats, and selection of spells and powers. So what I'm thinking about right now is I'm kind of thinking we're going to build 6-level characters because that's what our team is building in our alternate campaign tonight. So we're starting at 6th level, so all these characters will be 6th level. We can just plug that in. But I mean, it could be like, we chose 6th level because you could multi-class into, like, say, like one of our players is playing a 3rd level Shadow Monk, 3rd level Gloomstalker Ranger. So he's multi-classing those two characters together. 6th level, the channeling and casting levels work. So he has access to 2nd rank or 2nd level spell casting as a ranger, but can only prepare 1st level spells as a ranger, and as a 3rd level monk and 3rd level ranger can only prepare 1st rank powers, but can put up to 2 mana in any ranger spell or power that has been prepared, because between the two it is a 6th level multi-class channeler, because half-casters and marshals are both considered channelers, and the half-caster, like the ranger, paladin, artificer, as well as the warlock, are considered channelers, and their level goes up the half-casting progression, and then each level contributes full, while the half-casters for casting, only half of their half-caster levels count towards spell casting. So a 3/3 monk ranger has rounded down, has only 1 level of spell casting when you look at its multi-class spell casting combined for what its maximum spell level is. You can still only cast 1st level spells, but can channel 2nd rank powers. And since ranger spells are considered 2nd level, since rangers are considered channelers and all their spells is considered channeling, although I can only prepare 1st level ranger spells, I could put 2 mana into them as a 6th level channeler. There you go. So hopefully that makes sense. For people that know 5e, that probably made sense. If it doesn't, you are welcome to join my Discord community, which is right here. 0 cost to join, and be welcome to jump in and ask questions. So let's see. Let's go to, we're going to make characters. So we're going to have 6 levels worth of characters. And I think I want to start with a druid. And I think a druid will make a great controller. So hold on, I'm going to adjust my chair here real quick. And I'm going to take a sip of water. We're going to make a 6th level pure Witherbloom druid. So let's go to our big document here, and we're going to do a search for Witherbloom. Thank you. So here's the Witherbloom background that we created. And druid green Witherbloom will have green. Here, let's look at the. Let's go back and look at the document that we have in the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules here on the DMsGuild. And then let's go to the revised 5 Color Mana spell list. Okay, when we originally built the Color Mana Spell Point variant rules, the original 2014 version of this, if we look at the preview, the full document is available. It's a 75-page book. Enjoy. Please enjoy it. It's fully functional, but you can see here when we originally built it, each spell was devoted to only 1 color, and that was fine at the time. As you can see here, like for example, 3rd level. Where's the 3rd level spell? Counterspell, for instance. Counterspell is a blue spell. Doesn't that just make sense, right? So great. Animate Dead, black. That just makes sense. But after a full 20-level campaign, our team realized that was a bit limiting. So I'm going to rebuild all these books using the 2024 rules anyway. A couple of years ago, we then fleshed out the revised Color Mana spell list. And this adds more flexibility. You click this open, you can look at the full preview. And now spells are devoted to multiple colors. Again, we've talked about this before. There's various aspects of magic. Each color. Here's like a short list of some of the things in general that each color represents. Like blue, air, illusion, mind, suppression, water. White often refers to divinity, healing, light, protection, restraint. While like green is often animal, healing, plants, nature, spirits. You can see it's healing here in green as well as in white, because Magic the Gathering cards, most of get hit point back cards like heal X hit points, are generally white and green spells, unless it's Lifesteal. Lifesteal is typically white or black. So there's some interesting crossover. Like you can't directly heal with black mana unless you research a healing spell to be black. And naturally, it's white and green. So, like, we'll go down here and we'll look at, like, say, Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds, white and green magic. So you could cast a first level Cure Wounds spell with either a point of white or green magic. But if all I have is blue and red, I can't cast Cure Wounds until I either prepare it twice or I research Cure Wounds to be that blue or red spell or whatever. Change it to the color that I want. Also worth noting, bonus spells that you get are whatever color you want. So if I were to play, like, say a Cleric of Life, and Cure Wounds is one of my bonus spells, but I'm playing that character as a as a Witherbloom character. That's, well, that would, like, say would be a good one. Prismari. Prismari is blue-green, and they don't have, is blue-red, which don't have blue or green. But if I'm playing a Life Cleric in the school of Prismari that's native to blue or red, if Cure Wounds is a bonus spell for my subclass or my background, then it's whatever color I want. So it could be either white, blue, black, red, or green. It's up to me when I cast it. It can always be any of those. So a Prismari character would cast a healing spell probably as red magic. So if I have red mana, I could cast it as blue if I wanted to. But if I'm being strict, if I'm self-imposing limitations on myself, then if I don't have any red, I would call a Prismari healing spell red magic. So if I don't have any red mana, I can't cast it. So too bad for me. Unless I'm a ranger and I'm in combat, then I can generate a point of temporary mana to then spend on that first level Cure Wounds spell to get 2d8 hit points back. But I had to give up my bonus action to get the mana and then my magic action to cast a Cure Wounds spell. I just got 2d8 hit points, and because I didn't destroy the enemy, I could lose far more than 2d8 hit points next when those enemies attack me, because I didn't get rid of them because I expended my action economy to do something different. But that's the tactical side that introducing action economy for mana creates. You decide how much action economy you want to use each round to either do something or generate mana to do something better with what action economy you have left over. Whilst full casters don't have that option of generating mana with action economy to cast spells, but they get a shitload of mana, so they can just constantly be casting spells anyway. So they don't need to have that action generation, and they're maintaining concentration on spells. They have different problems than martial characters do, so they handle them differently. It's a fun divide that actually complements each other really nicely. It creates natural barriers against over synergizing between martials and full casters, so that you can't get the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds is the half casters or the warlock. Like, that is the best of all worlds, but it's still limited on what it can do. So it's a fun balance. So we're building a druid. I'm going to actually save this as Witherbloom Druid. I'm just gonna go human. Boring old human druid. Witherbloom. And we're going to call him Dreadbear. Because we're going to go Moon Druid. And we're 6th level, so we'll have access to our second subclass features. Here is our stat array. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8, right? So we're going to be polymorphing into a bear a lot. So I think I want to put strength at 8. We're going to put wisdom at 15. I think we're going to put constitution at 14. We'll go 13, 12 for charisma because of saving throws, and then 10 for intelligence. As a human, we're going to get a +2. Oh, no. As a background, as a Witherbloom background, we start with our ability bonuses assumes, like Witherbloom defaults to Constitution and Wisdom, but you can use any 2 stats that you want. You get 3 points across 2 stats. Default for Witherbloom is Constitution and Wisdom. That's great, because those are the 2 stats that I wanted to increase. I wanted to get Witherbloom, I wanted to get Wisdom to 16, and I wanted Constitution also at 16. Everything else is fine as is. We're going to get a feat at 4th level. I don't know how we're going to spend it yet, so we're going to leave that be. We're a -1 here. We're a +1 here. We're a +3 here. We're a +0 here, +3 here, +1 here. I think Druid is... No, I think Druid is Druid strength? Hold on. Let's go look at Druid real quick. Let's get our base chassis built, and then we'll dive into all the interesting stuff. Wisdom, D8. Oh, it's intelligence and wisdom. Okay, so it's going to be a -1 here. We're 6th level, so that's a +3 bonus. Intelligence is going to be +3. And wisdom is going to be +6, +1, +3, +1. Not bad. Move speed by default is 30. Our base armor class is 11. We do not get armor, though we can cast mage armor or like power armor and power shield or whatever effects that we want to increase our armor class if we want. We do not, other than our uniform, we don't get to bring anything in with us. And again, the arena itself is considered a spellcasting focus, so you don't need a material components pouch, because you have the focus already available to you. And any spell that requires consuming a material component or any kind of material component that's more than 5 gold pieces in value cannot be used, because you can't bring items into the game with you. So that limits our selection of spells a bit at the higher end, but not dramatically. Our hit points is going to be 11 to start, and then it's 4.5 times 5 plus 15. So it's going to be a base 26 hit points. 4.5 is going to be 9, 13. That's 39. So we have 39 hit points. Our mana as a druid is going back to our list here. The druid uses the same progression. Let's go down to the druid. Druid. A 6th level druid has 20 mana, a total of 9 prepared spells, 4 cantrips. 3 cantrips, 3rd level spell, maximum casting level, and we have a total of 3 uses of Wild Shape. So we have Wild Shape, and mana is 20. 3 on a short rest, because with this system, all full casters get their maximum spell casting level back every time they take a short rest. Not just once, every time, because that balances out. Like your 20 mana plus 3 per short rest balances, like say you get 1 short rest per day, which is what we assume. You're going to get 1 short rest. In 2024, we should assume you get 1 short rest per long rest. That tends to be closer to how most games actually pace out. So we've balanced the system around that idea of 1 short rest per long rest. Short rest, long rest, short rest, long rest, short rest, long rest. That paces out pretty well. In the Mage Tower game, it's 3 periods. You start off with your full mana, and every time a period ends, you get a short rest. So you would start with 20 mana as a full caster, and then end of period 1, you get 3 mana. End of period 2, you get 3 mana, and then if you go into overtime, period 3, at the end of period 3, into overtime, you get 3 mana. That's 29 mana that you have total. Meanwhile, the martial characters start with 6, end of first period get 6, end of second period get 6, and if you go into overtime, another 6. So you could have potential of 24 mana over the course of an overtime game versus the full caster's 29 mana over the course of a overtime match. If it only goes to the third period, the full caster would have a maximum of 26 mana, and the martial half casters would have a total of 18 mana. So overtime really makes a big difference on the power divide between the two. And again, the marshals and half casters can expend their action economy to generate extra mana in every round during the match to do more stuff if they want to. But at 6th level, we can only do up to, at best, 2nd level or 2nd rank effects, which isn't nearly as strong as the 3rd level magic that we're going to be seeing our full casters throwing down. So big differences there. Our DC is going to be, let's put in Prof is +3, and so our DC is 6 + 8, 14. And I'm going to go down here and go attacks, spells, and powers. We'll just lump all those together. Let's look at our skills real quick off of just a base druid chassis. Choose 2. We'll go with what are going to be relevant. Let's say insight and perception. And then, let's see. What else? We don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about any of that. Cool. Okay, cool. We're done with the druid's front end for now. Let's now get into the actual druid. So we're at level 6. We get Primal Order, Spellcasting, Wild Shape, Wild Companion. We can't use our companions during the match because that's adding allies to our team that have action economies, so we can't use familiars during the match. You know, subclass, our feat, Wild Resurgence, subclass, another subclass feature. So let's go down here and find out what's needed. Skills, language, druidic, insight, perception, spellcasting, blah blah blah. Oh, with this system, all spells, you can cast both action and bonus action spells at the same time in the same round. We generally don't give you free castings of spells. With this system, we replace all of that to add the spell and just use your mana, because everyone now has a mana pool. Everyone can now afford to spend their mana on species spells or feat spells that you pick up. It's like, great, you have a spell, you can cast it, but you still have to use your mana because mana pools, spell point pools are so abundant. Everyone gets so much mana that you don't have to worry about giving people free castings of spells. I would say the very quiet admission that Wizards has made with 2024 by giving us a whole bunch of free spells and allowing us to cast those spells as a bonus action, even though we already cast a spell with a spell slot during the same turn. This is admitting two things by Wizards without actually saying it. It is them saying, A, we don't have access to enough low-level magic to make you feel like you're using magic all the time. So we're giving you free spells so that you can cast more low-level magic. That problem is solved with a spell point default, because you get so much mana from spell points that you can chunk out a lot of spells when you want to. So you can get rid of that free spell stuff and reduce the amount of power that you get. Giving people free castings of spells creates a glut of power. It increases the spellcaster's power base because they're just getting more stuff for free to then use their actual mana pool to do more utility variation stuff, which furthers the martial caster divide. Even if a martial character were to pick up a like Fey Touched, I can cast that spell once for free without expending mana. If I had mana, I could also cast it additional times. But since the fighter in the player's handbook doesn't have any spell points, spell slots, mana, I basically get that one Misty Step and I'm done. Meanwhile, your 6th level wizard that picked up Misty Step as Fey Touch background can now spend 2 points of mana anytime he wants to cast additional uses of Misty Step. The fighter can get their cat anyway. So you get 1 free casting a day, and then you can expend as much mana on it as you want to. Or with this system, you would normally, like a 1st level character would only be able to spend like 1 point of mana normally. But with a species spell like Misty Step, that's a 2nd level spell, you can cast additional castings of it if you spend 2 points of mana, even though at 1st level you would normally only be able to use 1 mana at a time. And a 1st level fighter only has 1 point of mana. But because it's a natural spell, I can generate temporary mana to cast Misty Step as a bonus action. So a 5th level fighter could sacrifice 2 attacks and use a bonus action to Misty Step every round. And if I was holding the ball, that would allow me to teleport and hop over obstacles and stuff if I needed to. So this is a fun way of playing with the system. But I wanted to point that out because that is a mechanic in spellcasting. Anytime, because you're always spending mana to cast spells, whenever you can cast magic action and bonus action every round. The only exception to this is the sorcerer, who can cast spells that are not supposed to be bonus actions as bonus actions. When you do that, you can't do that in combination to another spell that you've cast as a magic action. So if you've already cast a spell as a magic action, a sorcerer can't quicken a spell. If I've cast a spell as a quickened action, I can't cast another spell that requires mana, but I can still cast a cantrip. So the sorcerer still has that limitation, but for everyone else it's been removed. Because the only spells that are bonus actions in the game are either deal more damage because I just did an attack, like Divine Smite and most of the ranger damage spells, or it's a defensive, like Misty Step is defensive. Healing Word is a healing defensive spell. Virtually everything that's a bonus action is either ramp damage from an attack or defend myself and get myself out of harm's way. And there's nothing wrong with spending mana on the same one. I threw a fireball, now I'm going to spend more mana to get out and get out of the way. You're depleting resources to keep your character safe. That's smart. The wizards could have done that, but they would have had to make the admission that, you know, the way that this is structured is clumsy. I don't expect them to do that. They might not even agree with me. It's just an observation that I've made over the past 10 years of how the 5e game engine works. And this is a really good strategy that really simplifies the system. So that's spellcasting. Then we have Primal Order, so we'll pick one. Pick up an additional cantrip. Add your wisdom damage to cantrips. To intelligence, arcana, nature checks. Or gain proficiency in martial weapons and training with medium armor. I do not need medium armor because I can't wear it. And the ball, the hamster ball with the pest inside of it. That's a simple weapon, so I don't even need martial proficiency with that. So I'm going to take the Magician Primal Order. Primal Order Magician. So that's going to be extra. We're going to go with cantrip, 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 because I get 4 now. And add your wisdom bonus to arcana and nature checks. +1 cantrip. +3 to intelligence. Skip that. +3 to arcana and nature checks. Yeah, to intelligence. Because you could make a nature check with a charisma roll, for example, and that wouldn't apply to this because it's an intelligence check using arcane, using Arcana. And like, if I were to make a nature check that requires wisdom, I already get my wisdom bonus. So this isn't going to benefit from that. Wild Shape, you get a Wild Shape class feature. Wild Companion, we can't use Wild Companion. Gain, find familiar. Casting a spell this way has duration equal to your Wild Shape feature. So we'll add Wild Shape. And we get a total of 9 extra spells. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a lot of spells coming your way, y'all. We get a feat. I think we'll probably take, let's take, I think Warcaster. That's probably what we're going to want to take. Wild Resurgence. During your turn, you can expend 2 mana to regain a use of your Wild Shape feature. And you can sacrifice a use of your Wild Shape to regain 2 mana. We get 3 uses of Wild Shape. Yeah, so we can generate 6 mana, or with 20 mana in our mana pool, we get an extra 10 uses of Wild Shape. This is very reminiscent to Honor Among Thieves, the D&D movie, when the druid went on the recon mission and turned from a fly into a hawk, into a rat, into a cat, into an axe beak, into a deer, and then ran away. I think those were the 6 shapes that she took over that chase scene. That was a great scene, by the way. It was really well done. But she wild shaped 6 times. So if she was using this mana system, she would have only had to have spent 6 mana on top of the 3 wild shape forms that she had at 6th level, and be able to pull off that scene accurately. So again, another good use of mana. Like, why mana is really good for things other than just casting spells. Like, give things costs in mana, because full casters get so much mana they can afford to spend that stuff on cool shit. Let's see, Wild Resurgence. During your turn, you can expend 2 mana to regain a use. Yeah. Wild Companion. Wild Resurgence. Gain Wild Shape for 2 mana. Sack Wild Shape for 2 mana. A druid could get the ball. It's a tiny object. Get the ball, turn into a hawk, fly to the goal, and then make an attack roll by dropping the ball to try to hit the goal. Viable strategy. Elemental Fury. That's level 6. That's level 7, so we don't get access to that. So now let's go down to Druid subclass, and we're going to go to Druid Circle of the Moon. When you reach, so let's go with, and then we'll go Moon. Let's do it like this. Let's go =, here, Druid, and then Moon. So we'll replace skills with =, and then we'll replace feats with =, and we'll replace attacks, spells, and powers with =, and Bob's your uncle. Very good. Let's see. Yep, there's our features. Let's go to the Moon. Moon spells. Dancing Lights is a cantrip. Druid, Moon Druid, and then the rest are open. Let's go with Shillelagh. Because we can attack the ball as an enemy. We can't damage it, but we can hit it. And if we do with Shillelagh, or not Shillelagh, not Shillelagh, because I can't use that spell. It's Thornwhip. Because we can hit the ball and then pull it 10 feet towards us if we wanted to, and then scoop it up if we needed to. And then use our movement to go in the opposite direction. Cure Wounds. Two, three, four. Moon, 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 moon. In parentheses, in parentheses, in parentheses. Fairy Fire. Moonbeam. Fairy Fire's first level, isn't it? Since this is a bonus spell, it can be cast in any color. So we'll call that one 1x. Cure Wounds is 1x. Moonbeam is 2x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But the rest of these will be important. So we have our 20 mana, and we're going to break our pool up into probably something like is black and green because Witherbloom. Oh, let's finish our Witherbloom background. Actually, let's let's finish our Witherbloom background, and then we'll finish the Druid. Witherbloom, skill proficiencies, nature and survival. And Herbalism Kit. Not useful right now, but there it is. Oh, we also got Proficiency in Medicine Kit as a Druid. There we go. Origin Feat. Choose one. Let's go with Tough. And let's remind ourselves what Tough does. Nope, that's a brute. Tough feat, thank you. Your hit point maximum increases by an amount equal to twice your character level when you gain this feat. Whenever you gain a character level thereafter, your hit point maximum increases by an additional 2 hit points. So that's an extra 12 hit points. $51 hit points, y'all. Not bad. So it's going to take a little while for you to beat me down before you're able to score any points. Good. What else? We start with 3 college credits in Witherbloom when we take this background. Using the renowned piety system from the DMG, we created the college credit system, which as you accumulate more credits of college in your school, you get access to more. If you're a channeler, half-caster, or marshal, you get access to bonus powers as you gain levels. And if you're a full caster, you get access to additional spells. And instead of getting all, like as a full caster, like instead of giving all your spells when you get first level, second level, third level, fourth level, fifth level, and getting 10 spells at 9th level as a full caster, instead we've spread them out across across 17 levels. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and well, yeah, there you go. So you get 9 spells over the course of your character's career. And if you're a half caster where you could get either a martial power or a spell, choose one. You choose either one. You don't get them both. You choose either one. So as a full caster, we get access to Cure Wounds. We already had access to Cure Wounds, so that's a non-bow. Third level, we get access to Lesser Restoration. And since it's a background spell, it can be any color that we want. And that'll be Lesser Restoration. And then the other spell that we get is the third level spell, Vampiric Touch. 3x, which is Wither Bloom. Actually, you should probably put Wither Bloom with a W. And that's going to be, yeah, Vampiric Touch. These are all bonus spells that we've gotten as a result of our subclass, our Strixhaven background, and feats. So they can be cast in any color that we want. Any of the spells that we prepare moving forward are going to have to be mindful that we're limited to both black and green mana. So if we want a spell that's not naturally devoted to black and or green, we'll have to prep it twice to get it onto our spell list. Our players, as we run the campaign, they can use their downtime activity between matches to study spells so that they can, over the course of their character's career, sculpt their spell list to all be, like, say, all black. So they can operate as a monochrome caster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There. And then we get the benefits of the Find Familiar feat, basically, to be able to. We already get that as the wild companion for the druid, so it's kind of a non-bow there for you. But anyone that's in Witherbloom, anyone that takes any of the Strixhaven colleges as a background, automatically gets the Find Familiar ritual to be able to create just specifically their mascot. For Witherbloom, the mascot happens to be a pest. There you go. By 5th level, or whenever you accumulate 15 credits, whichever comes first, you also get the Advanced Familiar, which is the stronger, like, CR2 version of the Familiar that's in the Strixhaven book. And we get access to college facilities. And at this point, you can choose either access to the garden or the greenhouse. And then once you get to 9th level, or 27 credits, so you're at 18 credits. You're at 15 credits here. So you get access to either the garden or the greenhouse. And then when you advance in your credits again, from 15 to 18, from 15 and then at 21 credits, you get access to the other facility. Like if I chose garden at 5th, then I'll get access to greenhouse at 7th. And then at 9th level, I can choose either laboratory or stables. And then at 11th, I get the other choice. At 13th level with 39, I get either the menagerie or the sanctum. And then at 15th level, I get the other. At 17th level, I get access to either the crypt or the reliquary. And then it would be, 54, and then 57, 19th. I don't know yet. Wish is always the 10th level spell in this system. But everyone gets access, all the full casters get access to Wish at 19th level. If you've stayed single classed till 19th level, you get a 10th level spell slot, which you can then upcast anything to 10th level. And Wish is the 10th level spell in the game. Hold on real quick. Crypt Reliquary. That's what we get. So at 17th level, you can either get a crypt or a reliquary, and then at 19th level, you get the other one. You could always, if you acquire Bastion points, you could spend them to get access to additional facilities sooner, but you automatically get these facilities. The college has all these different facilities, and each college has different facilities. And depending on your character's rank, you get access to these. But like if you have team members, you could escort your team members like to make use of the laboratory. If you have 27 credits in Witherbloom, you and any of your friends, while escorted with you, could make use of the laboratory or the stables as downtime activity. Strixhaven has unrestricted access to these things on their own. You can always get access to other things like an arcane study and stuff like that. Those are available generally on campus, but Witherbloom specifically gets access to these things like general facilities like arcane study, pub, auction house, gaming hall. Those are things that are generally available to the as just common facilities. Barracks, those are common facilities. But like for example, Prismari and Silverquill have access to theaters, like naturally. So if you're going to go to the theater, you're going to go to either the Prismari or the Silverquill college to make use of the theater there, for instance. So that's the spread that we get right now from Witherbloom. There's nothing else that we need from it. And now we're looking at we're going to pick spells. So let's jump into the spell list that we have here. Again, the already published 2014 Color Mana books are here, which links through to this list of books here. All these books, the revised color list is what we're currently using for color selections. This is the 2014 version. We'll need to update it for 2024. If you click this preview button, it'll pop open this PDF here. But this isn't breaking spells down by Druid. So I'm going to actually peel open. If you buy these books, you get a breakdown list for each one of them. So here's the Color Magic spell list that'll be available for 2024. And it's already broken down into each character class. These things are the 2024 version of this will be available soon. But you get all these class breakdowns, and this is an editable spreadsheet. So if you decide I'm stupid to allow blue to have access to summon element, and you think it should be white instead, you can change that for yourself if you want to. That is your choice. That's why we're giving you this option of these editable lists. But we build uneditable lists into the documents, and then we provide this as an additional tool to make it easy for you to customize your color devotions to spells that you want. So this is our spell list. We have up to 3rd level spells. Let's look at some like Windwall. Windwall is a great fucking spell, and it's available in green. And Witherbloom only has access to green and black magic. So we're gonna put Windwall in here down at the bottom with 3 green, since it's the only color we can use it in. And that's going to be Windwall, which is great because the ball is tiny size. If we throw a Windwall here as a druid, if I drop Windwall across here, if you want to make a shot, actually, I would probably bring it all the way to here. If you want to take a shot at my goalpost, you have to go all the way around the wind wall or go through the wind wall. And I'm going to be, as a druid, I can be a big bear right here, blocking you from getting any closer to my goal. And I am now the goalie. Look, I am the goalie now. So wind wall is a great spell to throw. Dispel magic, also super useful in case somebody were to throw a wind wall up. And I want to disable that so my team can take shots, then I'm going to want to have Dispel Magic. Actually, that's a problem because if we look at the spell list, thank you. Dispel Magic is a white and blue spell. And as a Witherbloom Druid, I only have access to black and green magic. So for me to get Dispel Magic onto my spell list, I either have to spend downtime in the Witherbloom and probably like Quandrix or Lorehold archives to research the spell to become the color that I want, or I have to prepare it twice. So if I were to use this Druid and I want to have access to Dispel Magic, I'd have to use Dispel Magic. I'd have to pick it twice. Once to rebuild it into green. So it'd be blue here, for instance, which I can't use. So then I prepare it a second time to become green, so I can use it. So this is reducing the spell repertoire I have available to me, but it's also allowing me to focus in specifically right now on green. Right now, the only thing I have to spend any mana on is green in color, so I might be able to pull off a monochrome green Druid caster. I get so many free spells from my subclass and my Strixhaven background that I can afford to spend some of these extra spell slots to customize my mana pool, so it's easier for me to use my mana more efficiently. It's a trade-off, but it's very much to your advantage to do so. And my music stopped, so that probably means that Epidemic is probably having a shuffle and automatically play next. So let's see if I can jumpstart that. There. Okay. What else? Dispel Magic is super useful because, like, what if there's a controller on the other team and they hit a bunch of people with Hold Person or whatever. Another thing I know for a fact I'm going to want is Spike Growth, because I can set up a field of. Hold on. Let's go find out. Let's go to Spike Growth to see how big of a field that is. Because it's going to create difficult terrain, and it's going to damage anyone that goes across it. That can be used both for and against my team. I know there's a risk there. A 30-foot cube. So if I were to use Spike Growth, where is? There it is. 30-foot area. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's Spike Growth. So I could drop Spike Growth here. So because my enemy team's going to start here, and as we previously discussed, the ball starts here, and the ball goes first in initiative order. So let's say I roll a 3 for the direction, 1, 2, 3. It's going to randomly go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to move itself here. So whoever gets to go higher on initiative here is going to have the ability, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I now have to use 35 feet to get within 5 feet of the ball, pick it up. I am now holding this ball as an object interaction. I pick it up, and now I have 25 feet of movement left. But I had to use the dash action to grab it. If I had a barbarian as my open scrimmer, I can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 feet, because I have 40 feet movement as a barbarian, pick it up, and now I have my action is still open for me to. I can't make an attack because I'm outside of the long distance disadvantage range. So I have to move from here to here to be able to make the attack. So I pick up the ball. Let's say instead our friendly druid got to go first. Bop. And the druid's opening move is to cast Spike Growth. The ball went first. My druid is second. So the ball moved there. I'm now going to drop Spike Growth here. Bomb. Now, if our barbarian wants to go fetch this ball, I'm going to grab you, buddy, and put you back where you're supposed to be. Get back, Loretta. There. if I want to get to that ball, I'm either going to take damage running through the spike field at disadvantage. So 5 feet, 15, 25, 35. And I've just taken 3d4 damage. Is it 3d4 or is it 6d4 damage? No, I'm probably going to have to run around. So fuck you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Dash action, 5, 10, 15. I can now pick up the ball, but I've ran out of action economy. I have a bonus action left over. I'm probably going to rage. And there it is. That's the end of my round. I'm done. I have a reaction left, but I can't do anything with it right now. So that puts me in that position. Now the enemy team is going to come over here. And we could do something like, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Let's say we have a fighter. Let's say as a monk, 30, 35, 40 feet because of fast stepping rogue. And then we're going to go we're going to spin a point for Step of the Wind to get a free. No, we get Step of the Wind for free. So we're going to use our bonus action to move again. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I am now adjacent to you. I'm going to use an attack action to disarm you, to knock the ball out of your hand. And I'm going to use my other attack to push you. I can push you 10 feet with a push action. So I've now pushed you 10 feet in, and now the Barbarian's stuck in the spike growth. So the Barbarian is now going to have to take damage getting out of the spike growth to attempt to re-engage the monk, for instance. Like, that's a good opening move. Like, that would be a decent opening move if I were to do that. But yes, you can see how valuable spike growth can be in this game. So I'm definitely giving my Druid spike growth. This is actually the reason why I wanted to build a Druid specifically, is for spike growth. So this is the builds. Spike growth is the spike growth Druid. There you go. I do have to maintain concentration on this, and if and with this system, any saving throw that I make can disrupt my concentration. The DC is going to be 10 plus the level of spells maintained concentration for. So spike growth is a second level spell. That is a DC 12. If I were to get grappled and forced to make, like if this Barbarian rages out and grapples my monk, or rather, if this is my Druid and the Barbarian grapples the Druid, that's going to require a Strength or Dexterity saving throw to avoid being grappled. Whether I get grappled or not, if I roll below 12, I lose concentration on spike growth. And if I take damage, like if I take 24 points of damage, half that's also a 12. But if I were maintaining concentration on a 5th level spell, the DC would be 15. But the offside of that is, as a 6th level Druid, I can maintain concentration on up to 3 levels worth of spells. So like I could maintain spike growth and I could maintain a 1st level spell at the same time, whatever that 1st level spell would be. I don't know. But like a 17th level Druid can maintain concentration on 9 levels worth of spells at the same. A 19th level Wizard can maintain concentration on 10 levels worth of spells at the same time, which means I could activate 2 Big Fists at the same time and be dual attacking with Big Fists. And if I had time stop, I would be able to move both of them at the same time, but each fist would require its own bonus action to move. But I could have 2 active at the same time if I wanted to, for whatever reason. So that this system would allow us to make a character that would be able to cast and maintain 2 Big Fists at the same time, and as a 19th level subclass feature, which don't exist, but if it did, it could be you get an additional bonus action specifically to control. Like at 14th level, you gain a bonus action specifically to control Bigby's Fist, Mage Hand, or a telekinesis as an effect. Like the Master of the Unseen Hand from the 3rd edition complete Warrior's Handbook. There was a telekinetic specialist. We could translate that into this mana system as a 14th level feature, is gain a bonus action specifically to have an additional use of giving directions to your telekinetic effects or animate object like a cloud of daggers, all these things. You get a bonus action to have an additional movement or attack. So I could wield 2 Big Fists at the same time. My normal bonus action to attack with 1, and the Master of Unseen hand extra bonus attack to attack with the other. And that would be a really cool way to express that character. To have like these 10-foot fists both fighting for you while you have like your little 3-foot halfling here in the background. Like, yeah, what's up? So, Spike Growth. What's another good one? Like, Pass Without Trace isn't very useful because, like, stealth, like, we all know you're here. There's no need for Heat Metal because no one is carrying anything metal, so that's pointless. Flaming Sphere isn't a bad idea. Hold on. Let's go look at Flaming Sphere. I have a thought here. 60-foot range. Create a 5-foot diameter sphere in an unoccupied space on the ground within range. It lasts for the duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere makes a dexterity saving throw, taking 2d6 fire damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one. So, my druid, if this is my druid's team over here, I could cast Flaming Sphere. I could cast Flaming Sphere right here. So the tower itself isn't gonna the goalpost won't take any damage, but if there's a goalie that's within 5 feet of that Flaming Sphere, he's gonna take 2d6 fire damage each round, right? That's what the spell says. What does it say? You create a 5-foot diameter sphere area on occupied space in the ground within range, and it lasts a duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere makes a dexterity saving throw, taking 2d6 fire damage on a failed or half as much on a success. And as a bonus action, I can move the sphere rolling around. If you move the sphere into a creature's space, that creature makes the save against the sphere, and the sphere stops moving its turn. Now, when you move the sphere, you can direct it over barriers up to 5 feet tall, jump it across, 10 foot, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so if I put a Flaming Sphere here, and if I focus our team's attacks in this direction here, if this goalie wants to defend this goal, you have to remain within 5 feet of the goal. But you're being damaged to do so. So you're going to have to drop back out of range to not take damage, and you are not defending the goal back here at all. Even if I'm here, I'm still taking damage from the Flaming Sphere. So for me to stay safe from the Flaming Sphere, I have to actually move out of the pyramid altogether, off of the tower altogether, and now I'm walking into the spike trap. So a druid, a 7th level druid, could maintain a 2nd level Flaming Sphere and a 2nd level spike growth at the same time, maintaining it with a difficult, my concentration is now 14. So if you were to hit me with a Ray of Frost, forcing me a dexterity saving throw to prevent my movement from being halved this round, small damage, who cares? But that saving throw, that dexterity saving throw, I have to hit a 14 or I lose both spells, and I just dumped 4 mana for nothing. So there's a lot of pros and cons to the system. It's a really fun balancing system if you're using all the tools together. And in this PvP Mage Tower arena, all these tools work together really, really nicely inside this set. So we definitely want to take Flaming Sphere, because I can use that. Again, if I kill you, you're out until the end of the period. But since it's only temporary damage, anyone that comes along and resuscitates you or hits you with a cure wound, you're back in the game because it's only temporary damage. If the whole team gets TPK'd, then whichever team is dead automatically, the killer team automatically scores 3 points and ends the period. We then get our short rest. All the temporary damage is dumped. You're back to 100% hit points again. We get our mana refresh from the short rest, and then we begin the second period. So it's a really efficient game system. Like, to actually gamify a sport using 5e action economy. This seems to be a pretty good way. We're gonna hopefully be playtesting that tonight. If we can get our characters built early enough to be able to run a match, then we'll be able to start doing that. Otherwise, the next time my Curse of Strahd game gets canceled, we'll be able to actually play. So Flaming Sphere is a must for a druid athlete. So we're going to add that to our list. It's 2G, and it's going to be Flaming Sphere. So far, we're still mono green, and we have plenty of slots left. So let's keep working our way through the list to see what cool stuff is there. We have Cure Wounds automatically. That's part of our list, so we have that. Earthbind keeps things from flying. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's go with it. Earthbind. This will knock out flyers, which is important. We can't use Animal Messenger. That's pointless. Let's go back to our third level list and see if there's anything there. There's Counter Spell. We'll take Counter Spell if it's useful. Meld into Stone is okay, but we can't. The ball is considered a creature, and it can't meld with you. And you can't make the ball unavailable. Like, you can't banish the ball. So, like, you know, Meld with Earth isn't a very useful spell in here. I don't see immediate value there. Wind Wall is awesome. We have that already. Sleet Storm is okay. I don't think we need it. Oh, we don't get Counterspell. Oh, never mind. Spike Growth was great. We already got Moonbeam for free from Druid. Lesser Restoration from Druid. No, from Witherbloom. Oh, Hold Person. But Hold Person is white-blue. So we're going to go with blue, Hold Person, and we're going to go 2G, Hold Person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we have Hold Person. For 2 mana, I hit you. You make a saving throw. I could disrupt your concentration with that save, potentially. But for sure, if you fail to save, you're paralyzed. Now I can crit damage against you until you break free. But more importantly, you can't maneuver. You can't score points. You've been disabled. So Hold Person, super useful strategy. And since it's PvP, screwing each other with action economy, sure, it's not as fun, but part of the fun is not having fun. The threat of not having fun is fun. So yeah, Hold Person, definite must. Earthbind, definite must. This is a controller debuffer for like absolute fucking sure. Thunderwave isn't horrible. It pushes people. You could potentially push somebody out of range. Lawn Strider gives us more speed. That's a plus 10. God, a plus 10 boost. Let's take Lawn Strider. What level's Entangle? Entangle. So 1G Entangle. And the extra 10 feet of movement is actually really helpful in here. Like, you saw how an extra 10 feet made the difference in being able to pick up the ball and have more action economy. So Entangle and Long Strider. There. We just built... oh, we have Cantrip still. Hold on. Let's not jump the shark. Let's see. Thorn Whip, we have it. Guidance is useful. Can be. Gust. What does Gust do? Can we push a ball with Gust? Because that could come in handy. If we're rooted, we might need to do that. Gust. .30-foot range. One medium or smaller creature that you can choose must succeed on a strength save or be pushed 5 feet. You can create a small blast of air capable of moving one object that is neither held nor carried that weighs no more than 5 pounds. The object is pushed up to 10 feet away from you. It isn't pushed with enough force to cause damage. You create a harmless harmony. So yeah, we can push the ball 10 feet. So that may, if we're frozen in space, like if we're entangled or something and restrained, we can still cast Gust. So that's actually, that has limited uses. It's better than nothing, so I'm going to use it. Gust, Infestation, Magic Stone. What does Magic Stone do? Hold on. That's because we might be able to convert the ball into a Magic Stone. So Magic Stone. You touch 1 of 3 pebbles, imbue them with magic. You or someone else. No, it's pebbles. So we don't get pebbles. We don't get access to pebbles. So that's not the right one. Poison spray. Yeah, poison spray causes damage. Why not? Let's take it. Poison spray. It's a damaging cantrip. It'll do 2d8 damage. It's worth it. Anything else? Mold Earth. What does Mold Earth do? Oh, we can't destroy the battlefield, so we can't. Mold Earth moves the battlefield. We can't destroy or damage the actual arena as part of our spells. Like Earthquake isn't allowed. Move Earth can't be either, or Mold Earth. Sorry. What's left? Resistance, Shape Water, Produce Flame. Good old Produce Flame. There. All right. Hey, we just built a druid. This is our druid athlete. And we'll drop down here, and we'll again look at mana, 20, 3 on short rest, green, black. All 20 points in the green. I don't need any points in black because we specifically molded our mana pool and our prepared spell list to only use green magic. If I wanted more, if I was not just an athlete, this is an NPC athlete that I plan on using against the players in our match. So there you go. My idea is to have a... So the 4 characters, so we have 5 people on our team. So we only play Strixhaven if one of our players is missing. So that means I don't need a team more than 4. So my idea is a druid, a wizard, a barbarian, and an echo knight fighter. Those are the 4 I want to make as just generic enemies. I'll have to keep up. I have to keep making new NPCs for the team to keep fighting. But this will be a good opening match. So, maybe instead of a wizard, I think I'll go with a bard. So we'll go druid, bard, barbarian, and eldritch knight. So those will be our 4 classes. So we're gonna go. This one is done. So we lock this one down. I can close this one out. Wait. Save. Close. And now let's go to our most recent athlete template. And now let's create a save as. Let's do a silver quill bard. College will be silver quill. Our species class, again, it'll be human, bard. It'll be 6 levels. I don't know what kind of bard we're going to play yet. We'll figure it out when we get down there. Charisma is going to be our high stat. Let's go with... let's go dexterity. We'll dump stat strength again. We'll dump stat 8, 10, 12, 13. We'll bump this one to 14. We'll bump this one to 17. Oh yeah, we'll take Warcaster, which is a +1. 15, 17, 18. Warcaster. Oh shoot, I need to grab that druid again real quick, because Warcaster added a +1. 17. $15, and we added a +2 to 17, and then the Warcaster to 18. Good. Warcaster. Hopefully this is making sense to you guys.
Plus something. We'll figure out what our skilled seems kind of silly because there's so few skills that we actually need. But let's go look at the base chassis for the druid. For the bard. I think they use D8s. D8 per part level. We'll just go with the same thing. These are NPCs. They don't have to be that creative. So we'll give them the same amount of hit points. -6. So instead of it'll have 55 hit points. I have the same 20 mana. The DC will be Charisma, so it'll be 7 plus 8, 15. So this will be, let's see, what's our proficiency bonuses? Dex and Ka. That's +4 here and +7 there. +1, 0, 2, 2, -1. This remains -1. This becomes +5, stays +2, 0, +1. There's our stats. Our move speed is base 30. Our armor class is base 12. We haven't done anything to improve our armor class yet, and we may very well not at all. Super easy to hit each other and to kill each other. Features, skills. What skills do we get? Choose any 3 skills. So let's go with acrobatics, athletics, sleight of hand. Choose 3 musical instruments, 3 music instruments. We can't use them in the let's go with song. Let's go with singing, 2 musical instruments. So singing will be our mode of casting and an inspiration. We don't have to worry about light armor. We don't have to worry about starting equipment because we just get our uniform. Now we can drop down into the class features, Bard, and then whatever our subclass is going to be. Oh, the Druid. Did we get all of our Druidic subclass features? I don't think we got to those. Let's go back. You guys can hold me accountable if you want. Yeah. We didn't finish out the moon, so let's go finish out the moon. Silly mammal. Oh no, we don't need this. We need this. So we got our circle spells. You can channel lunar magic. Yeah, circle forms. So circle forms. You can channel lunar magic when you assume a wild shape form, granting you the benefits below. The maximum challenge rating for your form equals your druid level divided by 3, rounded down, so CR2. Armor class, until you leave your form, your armor class is equal to 13 plus your wisdom modifier if that total is higher than the beast's AC, and you get a number of temporary hit points equal to 3 times your druid level. THP equals 18, AC equals 16. Yeah. We'll go with, I think, how many forms do we get to know? Hold on. Let's reopen, close tab. Back to Druid. Let's remind ourselves, how many forms do we get? It's a bonus action. You can shapeshift into a beast form that you learn a feature known as known forms below. Known forms. Number of uses. When you can use Wild Shape twice, you regain 1 expended use. When you finish the rest, you get more as you gain levels. You know 4 beast forms from this feature, chosen from among the beast stat blocks that have a maximum challenge rating of 1/4 and that lack the fly speed. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can replace one of your known forms with an eligible form. Fly speed, no until 8th level, but what about the Moon Druid? Druid form. You gain the following benefits: lunar resistance, increased toughness. Each attack in Wild Shape can deal its normal damage, type of radiant damage. You make this choice whenever you hit with those attacks. You can add your wisdom modifier to your constitution saving throws. Ooh, nice. So now that is going to be +6. Improved circle form. And I don't think I get flight until 8th level. You gain the following benefits. Each of your attacks. Oh no, we're still limited to the same levels. We don't gain any advancement. Is that? Yeah, that's how they built it. Let's reopen that. Let's go to Circle of the Moon. Oh, sorry. We need to add that. Challenge rating. The maximum challenge rating of your form equals your druid level divided by 3. No, we already have that. But what does it say about flying? Nope. There's no improvement to flying. When you reach a druid level, in addition, you can cast these spells while you're in your wild shape form. So while wild shaped, we can use Moonbeam, Fairy Fire, Cure Wounds, and Dancing Lights. But we can definitely, I think we can be a bear. Cannot fly yet, so that is not a viable strategy until 8th level. Bear. Brown bear? I want something large. CR1. There we go. Brown bear. CR1. Brown bear. Let's go to library. Let's go to the basic rules. And what about, is there like a deer or gazelle or something? A deer. Let's look at a dire wolf. Riding horse. Scorpion. Yeah, let's look at those. Why aren't you loading? Thank you. Riding horse, large. Speed is 60. Brown bear, riding horse. Which is useful because you don't normally have access to a horse. Your druid could volunteer to be a horse to give you a 60-foot speed. That allows you to kick around the field pretty fucking fast. Dire wolf. Dire wolf is large. Nice. Dire wolf. L. Yeah, these are all good. Brown Bear, Riding Horse, and Direwolf are all large-sized creatures. These are all good. Bite. And if the target is large or smaller creature, it has the so if I hit, I automatically trip you, which eats half of your round, half of your movement getting up, so it traps you on the battlefield. So Direwolf is pretty useful. Those are useful forms. There might be a fourth, but I don't think we need it. Since we don't have flight yet, I don't think it's necessary. Speed is only 50, so it's not even as fast as, well, what does it get? Agile. Doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it moves. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, deer. But I think it's only medium size. But it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. That's super fucking nice. Okay, yeah, that finishes out the druid. So now the druid is officially done. We can move on with our life. Back to the bard. All right, let's see. We're gonna look at Silver Quill as our college. Intelligence, charisma are our bonuses, but we already or choose two, so we can already choose whichever ones that we want, which we did. We increased our charisma and our constitution. Choose 2 languages. So let's pick up some languages. Why not? Let's go with Infernal language. Infernal. Language. Infernal. Language. Primal. Like elemental. Whatever. Origin feat, choose one. We chose tough. And start with 3 credits in Silver Quill. We are 5th level, so assumes that we have 15 credits, which gives us Dissonant Whispers, Calm Emotions, and Beacon of Hope. So let's take those and add those in. Cantrips. And then we get Dissonant Whispers is 1st level, isn't it? Let's go to our bard list. Yeah. Dissonant Whispers is, we're playing Silver Quill, which is white and black magic. And Dissonant Whispers is both white and black. Neat. 1x. Silver Quill, or rather background, which is Dissonant Whispers. What else do we get? Calm Emotions. 2x. Calm Emotions, not necessarily useful. 3x. Background. Beacon of Hope. Very cool. And then let's look at the big list of bard. There it was. Bard gets at 6th level a total of 9 spells. Thank you. Stop it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cantrips equal 3. Silver Quill background. We already have that set there. We have to pick a background, a subclass for our bard, but let's select that after we go through our bardic features. Spellcasting, bardic inspiration. I think we're using a D8 right now. Is that right? Yeah, D8. D8, and we get a number equal to 4 of them because of our charisma. You gain a bardic inspiration die, which becomes a D8 at our level. The dice become bigger at 5, D10 at 10, blah. You have a number of bardic inspiration die equal to your charisma modifier.
You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
4 dice. As a bonus action, you can give a die, and we allow this. I think this is us as a reaction. 60 feet. If they fail a test, you can throw a bardic inspiration die, potentially winning. We'll go with bonus or reaction. We get expertise.
Oh, what did Silver Quill get in proficiencies?
Intimidate and persuasion. Thank you. So we'll go expertise. And we'll go expert. Yeah, we only need. Yeah, we'll go with acrobatics because we can use acrobatics to escape a grapple. And we use sleight of hand to yank, to yoink a ball from somebody's grip. And we get because we. I haven't taken into account that we are humans, which get a bonus origin feat. Let's go look at the list of feats. Rules.
Alerts. Magic Initiate. Extra spell. Savage Attacker. You've been trained to deal particular damaging blows once per turn. When you hit a target with a weapon, you can roll the weapon's damage twice and use either roll of the target. Skilled. Alert. When you roll initiative, you add your proficiency roll bonus to the roll. That's real. Okay, we're going to take that, dude. And initiative swap. You can swap your initiative around with other people. So, yeah. We're definitely taking that. Alert. And we'll go to the druid and add alert there as well. Silverquill Bard, looking good so far. Our feats are done for the moment. We're still filling in features. Expertise is resolved. Silverquill is resolved. Jack of all trades. When an ability check you make can use a skill proficiency you lack, you gain half your proficiency bonus round down, which is a +1 right now. Jack of all trades +1 if not proficient. What else we get? Bard subclass, feat, font of inspiration. And this is, you now regain all expended uses of bardic inspiration when you finish a short or long rest. In addition, you can expend 2 points of mana to regain 1 expended use of bardic inspiration, and you can expend 1 bardic inspiration die to regain 2 points of mana. Swap insp for 2 mana each, so we can fuel a bunch of inspiration dice with our abundant mana pool. We have 20 mana in our mana pool. White, black. So if we didn't want to actually be a spell-casting bard, don't worry about it. Pick up some cantrips, sure. Ditch all your spells, fuck them, who cares?
but use all of your mana for just shitloads of inspiration die. At 6th level, that's an extra 10 inspiration die that you get per long rest. You get the 4 inspiration dice from your Bardic Inspirations on a short rest, which can all be converted into mana. So if all you want to be as a spellcaster and not be a Bardic Inspiration and use Bardic Inspiration, you can cash in all your Bardic Inspiration for 8 extra mana every short rest. It's ridiculous amount of mana. It's really, really good value. And we don't get access to Counter Charm yet, so just under the wire. So let's go look. Let's look at Bard subclasses to see which one we think is going to be most complementary. Silver Quill naturally leans itself to oratory endeavors, so like College of Glamour would work. College of Lore, not so much. College of Spirits, College of Valor, I think would fit into Silver Quill well here. Not Creation. Eloquence. Let's see what College of Eloquence does. Charm Person. Tasha's Rafter is so great. Enthrall is great. Suggestion is great. These are all nightmare spells to use against athletes. Silver Ton. Make Charisma Perception 10. You can treat you basically gain reliability there. Unsettling Words. Bardic Inspiration. Subtract the number rolled from the creature's D20 test. Oh no, it's a saving throw. When a creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds a saving throw, you can take a reaction to expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration, roll your Bardic Inspiration die, and subtract the number rolled from the creature's roll, potentially turning success into failure. This absolutely fucks up people's concentration. Like I said, you can maintain concentration on multiple spells, but it ratchets up your DC as you do. The minimum saving throw DC for any saving throw that you make. So I could ding you with a Ray of Frost to force a dexterity saving throw, and then hit you with Unsettling Words to dump your result by 8, potentially causing you to botch your save. So we are definitely going with College of Eloquence. That is just too fucking good. Eloquence. Like, this alone could cause me to sack all of my mana just to dump Eloquence, just to nuke your saving throw. Love that. Bardic Eloquence spells. Silver Tongue. Unsettling Words. Unfailing Inspiration. When a creature adds one of your Bardic Inspiration die to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll still fails, the creature can keep the Bardic Inspiration die. That's if you're using your bonus action to hand out Inspiration, that's actually incredible great value. Creatures don't expend bonus inspiration point inspiration dice if the D20 test fails. Reaction equal reaction to succeed save. Reaction to target succeed save. Spend inspiration, reduce save result by 1d8. Such a great power. Silver Tongue. Reliable use of charisma, persuasion, intimidate. Checks. One D20 equals 10 or more. There. Okay, that takes care of the Eloquence powers. There are features. They're very straightforward. But we do get a bunch of extra spells. So let's dump in some spells. And the bonus spells that we get are Nightmares, 1x, subclass, Charm, Person. Tasha's is first, isn't it? Hideous laughter. Why can't you? The guy their search function sucks ass. It's the fucking worst. He's just the fucking worst. I must be bad at spelling.
One creature of your choice that you can see within range makes a wisdom saving. This is a first level spell.
Wisdom saving throw on a fail. Prone and incapacitated condition for the duration during that time it lasts uncontrollably. So you're going to drop the ball. You're going to be prone. You can't take actions. You can move, but that's it. Another wisdom saving throw. There you go.
Tasha's is great.
1x. What a great debuff. Enthrall. Suggestion. I think Enthrall is second level. You weave a distracting string of words, causing creatures of your choice that you can see within range to make a wisdom saving throw. Any creature or your companion that are fighting automatically succeed the save on any creature you or your companions are fighting, which includes your enemies in the arena. Automatically succeed on the save. On a failed save, a target has a -10 penalty to wisdom perception checks. And
okay, so this isn't going to be very useful
during the match because everyone is already aware of you. You're already fighting everyone, so that doesn't really help you. But that's okay. Let's go to our... Okay, so this is almost done as well. Let's go to the big list of Bard and pluck ourselves some spells. Mage Hand is useful. You can pick up the ball. Vicious Mockery. Also useful. And, True Strike changed, but it's extra damage now, so when I throw the ball, it's at least going to do extra damage. So yeah, let's do that. True Strike. It's an extra d6 damage. It's useful when I'm hitting the goalpost to make sure the damage gets through and does the thing. So great, now we're on to spells. We get 9 of them. Again, we're limited to black and white mana, so if there's a spell that we want that's not on the black or white spell list, we modify it. We have to learn it twice to get it onto our list. If this is an ongoing campaign, we could spend downtime to research it, to line it up, but these are NPCs, so Stinking Cloud isn't bad. It causes you to lose action economy if you fail your saving throw. All you can do is move, and the rest of your round is cast. That's really useful as a defensive spell. Hypnotic Pattern is blue, but it's super useful, so... That's normally a blue spell, but we're going to learn it twice. Super useful spell. Jesus, is Counterspell really not on the Bard's list? Is that true? Hold on. Let's double check that. I love that if that's true. I'm just afraid I have one missing. Let's just look it up. Counterspell. Wow. Yeah. Is not available to the Bard. That's awesome. I love that. Dispel Magic, though, that is a white spell, which is native, so picking that up is useful to disable effects. We always want that. We're always willing to cheat that into our list, but we don't have to. So, Dispel Magic. Now let's see second level spells. We'll come back here if we need. Catnap doesn't matter because we don't have 10 minutes anyway. Wording Wind. We get suggestion for free. Silence isn't bad to shut down spell casting. And it's white. Because of suppression. White. Silence. See invisibility is also useful. But is it so useful? Because it's blue. I have to learn it twice. I don't know if I want that or not. Kinetic Jaunt. Not native to our list. Invisibility. Not native to our list. Hold Person. Super useful. Ooh, Blindness, Deafness. That's going to be pretty useful. Blindness is black. 2B. Blindness. So yeah, we've got a mix of black and white going on right now. Again, a third level of Dispel Magic. It costs 3 mana to cast it. It's a white spell. I only have to have 1 point be white. The other 2 can be black or white. It doesn't matter. So far, we have a blended pool. Mana 20, white, black. You have 20 points. So far, I'm thinking 6 in white, probably 6 in white and 14 in black. If I have to learn Hypnotic Pattern twice, blindness, Hypnotic Pattern, yeah, this is all bending towards black. I think I'm okay with that. Let's flesh out the rest of our list before we know for sure, but I feel this is bending a lot towards black. We might do something more like white 7, black 13, and then whenever we take our short rest, we'll get 3 mana back anyway, and we can have those 3 points be either black or white we choose. We have Laughter already. Silvery, I'm not a big fan of Silvery Barbs in general. We have so many things to use our reaction on already. I just don't see that being a big use. Cure Wounds is always useful, and we have access to white magic, so we should take that. Cure Wounds. Bane, black spell. I think Bane is just like a blanket minus D4 penalty on people. Up to 3 creatures of your choice that you can see within range must make a charisma saving throw. Whenever a target that fails to save makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, target subtracts D4 from the attack roll and the save. Yeah, I think that's useful. Yeah. How are we sitting? 2 left. We have 2 left. Was there something that we really liked in here? that we want to pick up. Heat metal, negate object, phantasmal force, silence, suggestion, wording, wind. I'm going to skip the enhancement books. Bestow curse isn't horrible. Two spells. What do we want? Well, it's Strixhaven, so we'll take it. But it's expensive. Let's not. Enhance ability gives us advantage on an ability check, but it costs 2 mana. It's a 2 mana concentration. I don't think I want that. Crown of Madness. Crown of Madness isn't bad. Let's go with that. 2 black. Crown of Madness. And then 1 left. No, let's go with 2 black, and we'll go with UX invisibility. And then invisibility. There we go. 2 black for invisibility. Turn ourselves invisible, maneuver around with the ball. That's perfectly fair. What time is it? It's 12:30. I'm almost out of time. We only have 2 athletes built. I'm running out of time. I want a total of 4 athletes. I don't have the time. All right, well, we built 2 today, and we'll probably build more out in the future. I'm going to have to go off. I'm going to go ahead and go offline now. We just built the 2 characters. I'm also going to build out an Echo Knight and a Barbarian. I don't have. I wish I had time. I wish I had time to do that. Well, maybe we can get a Barbarian built, and then no, I really need to cut out of here at worst at 1 o'clock, and that's not going to be enough time for us to build out the second character. So I'm going to have to let it go for now. We're going to let it go for now. We will come back next Saturday, assuming that we're back. Yeah, we should be back next Saturday. When we're back next Saturday, we will. I will already have the Barbarian and the Echo Knight built for today's, assuming that we get to a match today in Strixhaven, we'll already be engaged with that. But when we come back next time, I will show you what we built for the Echo Knight and the Barbarian to see how that works. And you can see that process. And we'll probably build a Wizard as well. Or maybe a Scion. Let's build a Scion next week. That'll be fun. A Quandrix Scion. That'll actually be really cool. We'll already have the Echo Knight and the Barbarian built. We'll probably build a Ranger, maybe a Monk. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. All right. That's it for now, guys. I'm going to kick out of here. If you thought this stuff was cool, thanks. I'm glad that you do. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we are live in the future. All the books that all the supplements and books that we're using are. Hey, new subscriber. God bless you. Thank you so much. Here's a number of books that I've already created on DMsGuild. They all have free previews. Be welcome to check out the artwork and the ideas that are in there. Add them to your campaign if you want. Here's my Discord community if you're interested in playing Mage Tower in January, or if you want to get more involved in mana mechanics or the Bastion system or Spelljammer, all these different things that we've built, or be involved in playtesting. Be welcome to join the Discord. Here's all the material that we were using in today's session. The Strixhaven Mage Tower rules themselves, the Color Mana Spell Point variant rule books that are already on the DMsGuild, which I've shown have extensive free previews, and this is the playtest document that we're in building out for 2024. And I'll be back on Monday morning to do more Eberron artwork for the adventure that we're publishing on DMsGuild, and then Monday night we'll be back on to further develop the Mecha, Kaiju, Spelljammer, Eberron, Asteroid Belt bashing campaign that we're creating to utilize the bashing mechanics and the Mecha, Kaiju, Spelljammer rules that we've been building. So check all that stuff out if you're interested. Like and subscribe, jump in my channel, say hey, what's up? Love to hear from you, and thanks to everybody that's been hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you guys. So I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.